let's go. I wanted to speak without a mic, but I have to use it for the purposes of translation.
В один канал будем работать, да?
Okay, while people are thinking about their questions, allow me to tell you this. We have only 1 hour. It's not too much. I know one thing for a fact, and I will mention it. Don't worry. But since you came here, you probably want something from me. And I came up with this topic because I can talk about anything. So if you have anything like a pay-per-view, let me know. What do you like? What would you like? Or on demand. What would you like to have? And I will repeat for the sake of translation. So let's just use the mic. How do you deliver the information which you presented today to the parents who raise children of a preschool age? So you said no love, educate, but it doesn't resonate with them. Now I cannot hear what he's saying. The speaker is not using the mic. So, would you like to discuss politics with me? He is talking about the United States. Okay, so let's repeat this because I'm trying to fight this cognitive dissonance. In America, people will die of fear as well. How are you doing this in Russia? Well, let me briefly explain you this. Have you attended the previous lecture? Yeah, so I'm just going to be informal, right? If you're not okay with this, raise your hand. So, listen. This proves my main idea which I presented during the previous lecture. No problem whatsoever. Everywhere. Everything else we create. Of course, there are some horror stories that some evil men and women will come and shut us down. That's not true. Just not happening. Not using the mic. Why they won't let you do this? Look, I understand what you are trying to say. You're asking about parents. I will collect more questions and then I'll provide an answer for everything. I see that some people are afraid. Thank you for your question. I was going to speak about this. How, in a democratic school, you can teach kids to work. How do you find the right balance between you may, you can, or you have to? Give me an example when you have to do something which you don't like, apart from being a doctor. Well, when you have to do your homework, then you graduate, then you go and work and serve the state. Well, how can you be free and happy and at the same time make a living? That's a great question, and I'll explain. Right, I'm asking as a mother and as a teacher. Well, I don't know how to explain this to the kids. I'm not taking responsibility for my kids. So, there is no link, almost, and I'm cautious, between the homework and your pay. No link. I think it's actually a reverse process. It's not going to be like the less homework you make, the better salary you will have. It's different. But again, I'm going to mention my previous lecture, but let's warm up with that a little bit. I do not know why they created this homework thing. I think homework is an attempt to extend their deadly hand into your personal life. And this is disgusting. This is the most disgusting thing that the education system came up with. So parents in this case support the school, not their kids, and this is what makes you think. You don't have to make homework. Then why do you even try to enter a college? I have two kids. Both of them are in school. One was working very hard, and now he's working for Elon Musk. The other one doesn't want to do anything. I cannot feed him infinitely. Well, if you don't want him to stay at home with you, well, I want to, but physiologically and biologically, I'm just gonna die. And well, Inessa, thou shalt not fear. I don't know how you motivate. I have no idea, to be honest. How do you motivate that kid? It's a living person. Let's just, start from here. And then we will try to develop on this. Look, and I'm not trying to blame you, so please, I'm gonna tell you what I think about this. I'm gonna tell you what I think. I'm already telling you this, so this is what I think. When we ask this question, how do I motivate the kids? It's about taming an animal, right? So I think that our kids have all kinds of people around them who try to motivate them and ruin their lives. If you worry, and there is this irrational idea, what if kids do whatever they like and they might say that life is a picnic? And it's just not that simple, Parents somehow think that you have to shovel horse shit every day. That's about life. And it smells and it's very hard to do. But in my opinion, life is not that bad. Number two, if you worry much about this topic, don't you do this. Because most of the people who your kids will meet, those people will try to ruin their lives. So it would be wonderful if I could just stop at this moment, but try parents, the unique parents who don't do this. The only, and I am not joking, because there will be teachers, even the best teachers, who will organize situations for them which will not be very pleasant. And things can happen, And there will be people who pass them by in the street. Like, you have 12-year-old coming back from school, and anybody for free can educate this little kid. Why your shoelaces are untied, why they are tied, why you're not crossing the street using the crosswalk, and so on. So this little boy comes home, and at home he is on the front line. So this is really about the teenagers. So do you remember the mermaid story and the feelings that she was speaking about? Like suddenly she has legs instead of a fishtail. And the teenagers, they pretty much walk on broken glass because they feel everything very
предательство, ненависть, дружбу заново и так далее, и так далее. А потом прихожу домой, и понеслась. Теперь вопрос.
And they have these issues again and again, but where do they spend some time resting? Where he hangs his hat? Where he just crashes on this bed and relaxes? Where exactly he is supposed to do all this? And very often, people say, in my home, I will not allow. Well, it's his home too. He's not renting a room from you, isn't he? So stay with me. So if this is also his home, then we should continue the discussion about the democratic schools, right? Let's talk about democratic homes and human beings. So he is also having a say. His say is equal to your say. Now, miraculously, this is how it works. Inessa says, no, it's not about this. Well, I'm gonna mention this as well. Just stay calm. I will mention it. Our desire to motivate them to something is very obvious. Why? Why do we motivate them? Why? That was your question, so that they could make a living. And I'm gonna use a very simple example. It's gonna be very simple. So you have this mom, okay, and she's holding a boy or a girl by the hand, 6-year-old. So they keep walking, and this girl eats a bun, and everything is great. They're just talking about things and twittering. So suddenly this bun falls on the asphalt, where you have gazillion number of microbes and dirt and whatnot. So those mothers are going to collapse, especially those from the post-Soviet countries. And they may collapse differently. They might start just going berserk and yelling, oh, no more buns for you, and so on and so forth. So you can just fill in the blank. So speaking of motivation, let's use a quick teacher's training. What's going to happen to this mom? What kind of transformation is he going through, or she is going through in this case? Well, it's kind of cool, right? You know, she feels sorry for the bun. Nice. And she feels angry because of who? Because of herself? I don't know. I don't know. She probably was thinking about herself. She was selfish, and she thought that, okay, so this, oh, she is that infamous Cassandra who knew the future. Well, would you like to use more options? She pictured something else. Oh, she's a painter. What kind of picture she painted? Are you a drama queen or not? Ella. So she painted a picture where she is, you know, walking into the sunset and the birds are chirping. Allow me to mention something. Well, you can say. Well, she's a good mother and she has this clumsy daughter. How could that happen? Well, let's just change the situation a little bit. So this mom walks from the lunch with her boss. So this boss takes the bun into his office, and then from his weak and feeble hand, this bun falls on the floor. Is she gonna go berserk? No. No, why? Why? That's not her problem. Nice, I like it, says Oksana. Because she's weaker. Because at this, and bravo. The only reason, my new friends, why mom starts to be rude with this kid in that situation, and I'm not using the word motivate, because she can. Just imagine this. She's not going to do this. She can't with her friends. She can't with the boss. So think about this. And this is a manifestation of discrimination. So she's stronger. And someone beautifully mentioned that they are now thinking about how life is going to be with this daughter. But what about friend? What about husband? Everything is the same, apart from this wonderful moment where she feels like she can. You know, but you should keep breathing and saying, I'll talk to you later about this. At this moment, when this model is manifested, I'm just gonna throw things at you and then we'll discussing. So this problem is built in such a way, and maybe she knew about these models, maybe she saw these models of behavior, but she's using them in this specific situation. She can do this with a baby, but she cannot do this with a friend. All right, so now you cannot say that she is angry beyond comprehension, because she can control this anger with her friends. So really, it's a simple situation. It's very simple. What kind of trap we end up in? Very often, and also with the teenagers. It's kind of simple. You were nodding, you were making wind with your nods. It was so heavy. So they say, oh, he comes home, and suddenly at home, this is what's happening. So you have this 7th grader, and he is a student, his performance is of a certain level because of different circumstances. And suddenly we have this mechanism that kicks in, and I'll explain you where it comes from. I'm saying, I have to motivate this child. To what? Well, I thought he's going to be a student of Berkeley, because I just came up with this idea. I want this to be like this. Right. You should use the mic. Here, we can use an example of his elder brother. How come his elder brother can be an example? Not personally. It just, somebody has attained success, and that success is acknowledged and recognized. Well, I'm gonna say something outrageous. Do you have a monopoly of success? Is she successful? Look at her. She's absolutely so. What about me? How do you know? Maybe she's digging shit. Well, you're coming up with things. You know nothing about her. What kind of business she's involved in? I came here to this conference and then I will leave. You also don't know anything about me. So your son is a 7th grader. There are a lot of classes which he likes, right? And I'm convinced he has those. But you don't see that. You just don't see that. I apologize. But look. He can have lots of different classes, and I'm watching this boy who I love, and I have this pedagogical seizure. I'm gonna generalize, not just about your specific case, but suddenly some nonsense started happening to me. And I'm going to use the previous example. You can discuss this, because this is really something tangible, where this girl comes home and she has problems at home as well. So this little girl, and mom says, when are you going to come back? And she says, at 10 p.m. 10:15, she's not there. 10:30, she's not at home. 11 p.m., not at home. 11:30, none. A quarter to 12, and this bastard comes home happy. Mother cannot stand this. She cannot stand her happiness. So mom do what? They start ruining their lives. And why they do this? And you mentioned it already, so it's very scary to the mom. You know all this. Oh, I called the morgue and the hospital and police, and I was looking for you. So it's very clear. We know how it works. But wait. At this moment, mom is worried. Mom fears. Mom lives through some bad times. Please turn off the flash. Thank you. So these are mother's feelings. And I'll be calm if I will handcuff you to a radiator. And in this case, I'm gonna have another pedagogical seizure on a different topic. Why? Because in this moment, what's happening inside me, it's just not changing. In no way. Do I have the right to fear? Not just have the right to fear, Because fear, in my opinion, is really a locomotive for any parent. We always fear. We fear things. But when we fear, it doesn't mean that we have to take people hostages. The hostages of our own fear. And then I'm going to spin it again. And then this mom comes over, or dad, and they say, "Oh, he's not talking to us." And I keep telling him, "I want to know the truth to help you." And she's not talking. How did that happen? Let's replay. So, Mom, why do I need to tell you the truth? So let's come back a little bit. Why she's not calling? Why she's not coming? It's because she's feeling good. Thank you, my friend. Is it bad that she's feeling good? Thank you. Responsibility before who? Wait. Every word you say is gold. So, responsibility before who? Mom? Dad? What about herself and the first kiss and sexual experience? God forbid. See, this is not gonna take 5 minutes. This is gonna take longer. But let's just skip it. Let's just skip it. Wait, look. What's your name? Tanya. Tanya, let's use this as a case. Why she's not calling? No. Nope, my friend. Remember what you did. Why do you call people? Why do you call some people and some people you don't call? It's because you don't want to. Simple. Very simple. She doesn't want to. And I'm going to speak about another case. Or she's going to hear, "Be at home in 15 minutes." See, she lost all the fun. Mom is going to ruin her life in any way. And I'm going to use cliche. Mom's not going to understand. Mom forgot something or whatever. But she keeps nagging about this responsibility. Why should I call and hear that? See? I want to hear more steel in your voice. Use more steel in your voice. And I'll tell you when I'm gonna call Mom. When? When I want to share the experience of the first kiss, right? Well, this is when I want to share. Don't you think this happens? It happens, left and right. And this can be done generally with somebody who can understand and who always is on my side, always. Guys, parenthood is being on the side of the child even when he is wrong, because you will hear him say, "They support me no matter what." And then speaking about this girl who is happy or not happy, we have a whole different story.
Hey, girls and boys, you should remember how it was with you. That was the script that we all followed. Now she experiences some sweet moments of her life, but then she gets the sad feeling of not reporting to her mom stuck in her body. Her mom is nervous. Well, I can tell you what you should do with her. Give her a glass of cold white wine. Chardonnay changes your life. Jokes aside, I'm not saying that she needs to drink herself under the table, but do something that will ease you. At what time will this daughter call? Yeah, I remember your question about the fear. I will answer it, that's why I'm here. She will call only under the situation. No. And no help and assistance, God forbid. She will call, put it down. Not when the mom would say, "Where's your feeling of responsibility?" but when the moms would say, "The problem is in me. I am afraid. The fear stays in me. You might consider me an crazy, abnormal person. I went through 2 teenage periods with my two eldest daughters, and now I'm going through the third one with my youngest. So just tell them about that the problem is in you. Don't push your own load on them as if it's their responsibility to ease off our fears. What we tell them is, well, if you don't come back on time, you won't do your homework, you will become a janitor, you will not get a good job. Are you a fortune teller? Look at your elder brother. Well, I looked at him and I don't want to be like him. So, Inessa, I don't know what your youngest son will turn into. A conflict inside of you, yes, and I will give a brief answer. You clearly point out that this is the conflict inside of myself, and if it's an internal conflict, then she can do nothing about it unless she's a shrink I pay money to. So you ask me an honest question. Will you try to do what I honestly will advise you to do? Breathe deeper and a glass of Chardonnay, and everything's gonna be just fine. Promise. How do I know? That's my job. I'm a teacher. I know stuff. And so you have to admit that the fear lives in me, that she will grow into a streetwalker, a prostitute. No. Well, if a beautiful parent makes a child become stronger and help a person to identify your sameness, then don't worry, that person will grow into a really nice and successful person. So, back to the topic of fear. That was a great question indeed, because when I used those couple of illustrations and stories about the bun dropped on the floor or a daughter coming back home late, well, the third story, a young lady calls me. And she is in terror. She tells me the story. She graduated from the journalist school in Moscow, got married to a military person. They sent them elsewhere in Siberia, and he only comes back home for 2 days. So, but she is a Moscow journalist stuck in the village, and there is nobody to talk there to. It's not that she is snobbish, but she has nothing to do there. She lost her employment. Their daughter lives with her. She is 2.5 years of age, and the dad comes back home for 2 days every 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden, she gets a job offer to write an article for one of the Moscow magazines. So she's at the computer, keeps writing something, typing, and the daughter is somewhere around. Then, after she typed it, she pushed the button print. And when the pages start coming out of the printer, the daughter drops the glass of orange juice on those pages, and the mom slaps them. And I understand well enough what you understand as well. It's bad to hit kids. And believe you me, the mom got so afraid of this, and that was the reason why she called me actually. She recognizes herself that it's bad to hit your own kids. So what did happen? So in the interest of time, I would not now give you time to guess, but Whatever our guesses would be, that whatever the reasons were behind what happened, this is not an excuse. You can easily print out some more pages, but that was something subconscious, that and an instinct that she couldn't overcome. So what did we talk to this mom about? I was not telling her that it's bad to hate your kids. I asked her, what did you feel at that time? Well, what were your feelings? What do you mean, she said. In your body. What were the feelings that you had? And then it turned out, when she recalled it, I had the sense of dryness in my mouth. What can you do? Then drink a glass of water. If my palms are wet, what can I do? Dry them. If my feet become weak, I can sit down. So it almost looks like science fiction and fortune telling for you, but actually that's the beginning of the answer to Ira's question. How can you love but not raise? Inside of this story there is another story. And you like school-related stories. A boy came to our school. He was 9 at that time, and he was the tallest and biggest in his class, and he was beating on everyone. Well, people like that happen. They are always in opposition to everyone else around. So at 9 years of age, that was how he behaved. Somebody comes towards him, he hits him. Why? Well, he looked at me strangely. And as you can imagine, a huge number of people talked to him before that it's bad to beat up the smaller kids. And I asked him, what happens with you a couple of seconds before you hit a person? Well, my fists clench. A couple of seconds before I instinctively hit someone. So then I said, as soon as you feel that your fist is clenched, unclench it and then hit. Do you know what happened then? The aggression disappeared when he unclenched fists. Of course, you can slap someone, but the aggression was in the clenched fists. As physical as that. Well, back to our initial example of mom who is nervous that her daughter is not back home at night. And I'm 100% confident that this mom has a huge number of physical feelings and emotions that she exercises. For instance, when she says, I'm afraid, but physically it represents differently. Wet palms, butterflies in your belly, different manifestations. So, figuratively speaking, you need to unclench your fists. And then a miracle would happen, and you would justly ask me, so if I unclench my fist, my daughter will come back home on timely? Well, no, but she will get the source code to decipher the situation. What happened with this mom who hit a daughter, or with this boy whom I suggested to unclench the fist? Because as soon as I do it, I decide what to do. When your fists are still clenched, that's the clenched fist that make the decision for you. When a small girl dropped a bun, her mom was not making the decision. Some previous life experience patterns and models of reacting instinctively pushed her to act respectful. Did you see how your body moves when you are angry? Just pay attention to this once. That's going to be a beautiful experience for you. Some would have clenched teeth, or some crazy mask on your face. By the way, why a person looks so ugly when he or she is angry? To scare the others, yes. The same is true why the dogs are scowling. They want to scare the other animals, and that's what we instinctively do. But I own my face's expression. If it's clenched, I can unclench it, right? And believe you me, just try it. There's no risk in testing how it relaunches the whole action-reaction mechanism. Do you know that when you're angry, you're not breathing? I am not, you are not. And the girls will understand it much better than the boys. But as soon as I feel that I'm angry or stressed out, then there's no intake of breath. Why am I not breathing when I'm angry? Yeah, that's the biological instinct. When a rabbit sees a wolf, then a small death occurs, freezing the small body. So that's our body's reaction. So what then should I do? Breathe in. Even now, some of you are not breathing. When we're not breathing, there is no oxygen to our brain. But it happens instinctively, and when I feel afraid of the future, of what might happen, the first tip to you is check out whether you're breathing. And then, if you learn that you are not, breathe in. Then you can claim that I'm stupid, that it doesn't work for you, but most likely it will. Simple example. Recall your feelings and emotions when you see a beautiful all-you-can-eat system offered to you, a huge table laden with food. Then the first thought that comes to you, I can eat everything here because it's for free. It comes from our past. Are we so greedy? No, because tomorrow there might be no food in our cave. Yeah, and so I need to make a bite on everything, grab a bun from my neighbor, but I need to stuff my belly now. And by virtue of listening to your laughter, I can see your feedback that, yeah, we can handle some of the situations like this. You claim that you fail to handle it. Yeah, sometimes I have nervous breakdowns myself. But at this moment, I tell myself, just don't worry, there will be food coming your way tomorrow. You will not die as a puppet, hungry and cold. The same is true with breathing, the same is with a clenched fist. Good news, the first positive results will happen fast enough when you pay attention to your body and start breathing. Why I'm talking about your body and your breathing? Because at that time we pay attention to ourselves, not to our child, to ourselves. And miraculously enough, as I suggested to this boy, when you unclench your fist, when you start breathing, then hit somebody or get angry on somebody. Ah, I see you show me 15 minutes left. Okay, but it will be our decision. It will be my conscious decision instead of subconsciously lecturing a child, masking my fear. Is it an answer to a question, Ira? Yes? Okay. Is there anybody who missed the point what I was trying to convey? Okay, then let me use heavy artillery here. What's the problem about today's meeting? I never covered it so fast before, in 15 minutes. The problem is that if until today you could claim, I don't know what's happening with me now, things might change. So what Could you claim, for instance, oh, the lecturer today was an idiot, a stupid guy, but I offered you the method. Test it. It will work out. If it doesn't, ask me what could you improve some more on this method. You're trying to push the conversation towards parents, right?
Ты кто, скажи мне, чем ты занимаешься? Шпион российский?
You're a spy,
Я не
right?
буду с тобой разговаривать.
Then I won't talk to you.
Слушайте, нет, прекратите немедленно, если говоришь со мной теоретически,
Well,
прости, но жалко времени.
If you're talking theoretically to me, sorry, but let's value our time and talk about some practical stuff.
Действуй. А что не так-то? Я...
Our customer, our client as whom? As teachers?
Нет, я с тобой не согласен.
Well, then I disagree with you.
Я скажу.
What do you disagree with exactly? And we'll answer your question at the same time. Look, guys, at our first meeting we talked at the end of it about the main message of parenthood. Lots of parents don't have a clue what it takes to be a parent. But if we're teachers, we have to create an environment when they will recognize what is the initial challenge that they have to go through. And as instructors, as teachers, it might seem that we're shooting ourselves in foot, but actually it's vice versa. A guy came to me during the break and he said that he is the principal of the private kindergarten. And he said, but the parents demand from me the safety of the kids. I agree with what you said, but the parents will not accept it. Let me repeat what I told her. As professionals, our job is for them to accept it and to understand and acknowledge what we're talking about. Of course, they demand safety, and I demand it for my kids, and you do it for yours. But my professional task is to create a safe environment. The next professional task is for the parents to recognize what sort of a product they buy. In modern kindergartens, and sorry to make this claim, in Ukraine, of course, similar as globally, what they sell is not a real product, but an BS. The product should be clearly formulated. I'm not that strong with business theory, but I know for sure that as soon as you formulate your main message precisely, then the customers will come to us. Otherwise, they will be afraid because they don't feel safe for their kids. So help them out to understand that, what sort of a product you sell. There were two examples in my career in Apelsin school. Parents called us and said, we as teachers are so bad because there's domestic violence and we as parents beat up on our kids. As a teacher, hearing that, I should tell her we can only accept your child here if you stop this domestic violence. But second promise will definitely help you out of this. Hey guys, next question, because we have only 7 minutes left. How do you find the balance between what you need to share with them in terms of knowledge and skills and what they want? Well, can I paraphrase your question? With your sexual partner, how do you understand what is good and what is bad? It takes two to tango. So sorry for making the essential example, but hopefully it will be well understood. We instinctively, by hearing and listening and feeling our partner, try to figure out together what works and what doesn't, right? How would I understand what a child needs? Just ask a child. Sometimes kids just don't know what to answer, then I would offer options. You're so afraid of...
Это полная фигня, прекратите. Ну, это другая тема, я про это с учителями буду говорить. Но давайте уже в одно слово скажу. Слушайте, ЕГЭ – это еще одна страшилка. Просто еще одна страшилка. Государство в большинстве стран мира, я говорю в большинстве на всякий случай, чтобы не обидеть.
The topic I often discuss with the parents is the topic of state exams, and I'm the teacher of literature, and I know exactly what my job is. Of course, they can easily pass the exam if they read books that are interesting to them, not the ones that are on the curriculum. Why should they read the book called Mother by Maxim Gorky? The worst book ever, but the state exam is something that is a boogeyman that we're all afraid of. Don't be. Yes, we hand out the graduation certificate to the students of our school. But what's the answer to the question by Inessa? Should there be a balance between what the Ministry of Education requires and what the kids want? There's imbalance there because of this graduation certificate. Well, I'm not forcing a person to accept that certificate. If at some point of time, when you turn 16, you say, yeah, I dream of getting this certificate, and it's not a play on words. And I won't have only 5 minutes left. When at the time a person says, I dream of getting a certificate of graduation of secondary school, then I would say, well, then you need to do this, 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 and that. And it's not that we force a child to learn bad physics and not good physics. Well, but they will not know how to pass state exam. Why? In 1 month's time, you can easily prepare a person. So, personal example about my eldest daughter. And it's gospel truth. When she was graduating from the secondary school, it was in Israel, but they have the same system of state exams. And she graduated from democratic school, but still, she was doing what usually high school students are doing, going into school theater, was writing some novels, had romantic relations with her boyfriends, but she failed to pass the math exam. And I had to unclench my fist, started breathing, even though I was thinking to myself, ooh, there is only one career path for her, and that's a street walk. And instead of committing suicide, that's what everyone who fails to pass a math exam, she decided, I would like to become an actress, and she left to New York City. She got accepted to the actors school. She graduated without having the certificates of secondary school. And then she decided to join the psychology school of the New York College. And that's where it caught up with her. She had to have not only to present the certificate of graduating the secondary school, but also to pass math exam. And instead of committing suicide, she decided to pass this math exam. Do you know how much time did it take her to get herself prepared to that exam? 2 weeks. So, bottom line, why I'm driving at that. Of course, I love my daughter. And if you ask her 3 multiplied by 3, how much is that? She would say 18, and just problem, my dog knows math better than my daughter. She knows that this is the story I always tell, so she will not get angry with me. Do you know how much points she got? 100 out of 100, the highest score. Dear friends, you can say, oh, Zicer is boasting of his daughters. No. Let me repeat, she doesn't know math still, but if this system of education gave her 100 points, then this system is worth nothing. 2 weeks, honest to God. 2 weeks when you know that you need it and you want it, you can easily get prepared to any state exam. That's how all state exams worldwide are being construed. And I'm not telling you that forget about state exam system, but there is no conflict whatsoever, no disbalance. As a teacher of literature, I offer additional books for them to read above and beyond the curriculum. The state exam on literature is in the 9th grade, and then I leave 2 weeks for them to read up on what is required, but based on the critical thinking and fast reading skills that we learned all through the year. So unfortunately, that's a trap. Summing up, let me reiterate the main thoughts. My topic is you should love, not raise your kids. And I'm not just making this overstatement. My previous book was called Freedom from Education. And usually parents claim that, oh, he's on the side of kids. No, I mean our freedom from education. It's us who are stuck in the trap. It's this mother who is entrapped that her daughter is not back before curfew time. And with this fear revolving in her head, I will be stuck in this educational paradigm. How to get out of it? I already suggested today. Okay, the last question, indeed. So why should we go to school? So, getting back to the main question, right? But why would you need to hear my answer? What would it change in your life? If he answers my question, well, ask him or her then if some alternative point of view is of interest. Okay, I thought I gave the answer last time, but I will repeat. Under the current system of coordinates, it's not worth going to the classical school. And I believe there is a way out of this vicious circle, and the answer is on our side, yours and mine. If you say, my child should go to the school because I want him to be forced by teachers to learn some new knowledge, fine, that's your answer. Or the answer might be, we send kids to the school so that our kids will be ordered by stronger adults, learning how to be a slave and how to deliver on the tasks and orders that we don't like. But my answer would be, we should go to the school when it's fun for us, when it's cool, when I learn something new for myself, and get fun out of it. That's why the school should ensure that a child feels fun of going to school, not that the father forced me or mother forced me. Is it the answer? Dear friends, about the inclusive kids, how does it coincide with democratic school? Well, I'll try to give a brief answer and then a full answer when meeting with teachers. I'm all in favor of kids to be diverse, but I'm also all in favor that our diversity will become our strength. Unfortunately, I don't know what's happening in Kiev, but I know what happens in most of the cities in Russia. As soon as I hear the word inclusion, that's all about dropping everyone in one basket and hopefully all of them will cross the finish line. No. Is it important for diverse people to go to school? Oh yes, I'm fully convinced of this. Gerdotus said that school is the unity of diversities, which is great. But you need to recognize how to deal with a person of different gender, different skin color, different thinking patterns. That's great. But for that, the swing should be smaller. And I'm making a bridge to the next lecture with the teachers. First, get the answer to the question, what makes me unique? And not in terms of unity as of a clinched fist, but uniqueness of myself, of other people. Sorry for not being able to entertain any further questions, but I've been shown that